All right, kind of a cool day today, guys. I have a sweater on. It's starting to be that time, and I am somebody who bucks when summer finishes up. I'm like, why is the pool not open now? Why, let's not get ready for Thanksgiving already and Christmas. I am like, let's enjoy up until like Indian summer, and then I'm ready to accept fall. But yeah, so I love summers. I'm a summer girl. And I love all seasons. I mean, I love fall. I was born in the fall. I love the snow in winter. I don't like the cold, but I love the snow. And then of course I love spring with all the grass and flowers and trees, flourishing. So I do love all seasons, but summer is me. I am a summer girl. I like swimming, my favorite exercise. I love, just like my grandmother, she loved the summers. She enjoyed the halter tops, and she enjoyed, just enjoying, not as much bulky clothing on, just, easy stuff to wear. So, I'm a summer girl totally. So, as we move into the fall though, there's a lot of my birthday, my kids' birthdays. I have one born on Veterans Day, one right near Thanksgiving, one at Christmas, my husband's birthday, right near mine, our anniversary. Our anniversary would be tomorrow, 34 years. And this is the type of anniversary at 34 years that, things get a little more calmer. But I've been in my husband's life for, let me see, 34 years, 1 year divorce, 33 married, and then, well, not even a year completely of divorce last December. So almost a year. And let me see, since second grade. Since second grade. So add that up, and you're talking over what? Over 45 years easy. So actually, let me see, probably, yeah, probably like 48 years my husband has been in my life. So that's a long time. Most marriages, don't last that long. So I had, who was it? There was a couple married I had met at church for 60 something years. And I'm like, holy smokes. So that is how it's supposed to be. When I was growing up, you stayed married until, one of you died. That's how long you stayed married. And I didn't grow up with divorce. It's something very foreign to me. As far as in my immediate family, as my extended family, yes, there was divorce all around me. Right about this age is when my grandparents had their marriage annulled. I mean, I was probably like 12, so I'm old enough to have like a 12-year-old grandchild. And so they divorced, well, had their marriage annulled. I don't know the whole story. Supposedly the priest said it was okay. I don't know what exactly happened. But and then all my aunts and uncles divorced. So it was kind of really chaotic growing up. It really was. One minute somebody's with someone and the next minute they're not. But my parents, as far as I know, are still together, and they stuck it through. And, and that didn't happen until I was like a teenager. I mean, when I was younger, nobody divorced. I had one aunt, Mary, who divorced, and the whole community, it was weird. It was something you didn't do. If you divorced, you were like the black sheep in the community. And it wasn't until I was a teenager that it started happening more. And now we are looking at people divorcing left and right. We see TikTok videos of women saying, well, I have a good man, but I just don't want to be married anymore. He didn't live up to his potential, and I'm just a wild girl, and I just want to do what I want. And, we see people married 3, 4 times now, and this is not the way God intended it. Not at all. So, marriage should ideally, during the older years, bring you closer. You should be like, know each other so well inside and out that you are the best of the best friends. That's how it should be when you're older. And, many people, when they get even older, when one dies, the other one will die of a broken heart. And so, keeping your marriage vows, ladies, very, very important. It's not acceptable not to keep your marriage vows. It's just not. And very few cases where it is acceptable, very few. But even then, there's counseling, there's separation, and there's a lot more things you can do. And divorce is very popular in the whole culture, including in the churches now. And it was never ever meant to be this way. You're not designed to live this way. You just aren't. Your body's not meant to be in a place where you are going through, anything that a divorce has. Your body's not meant for that. It's not meant to be that you break up with one person and then you go marry another person. Statistics show that the second marriage usually doesn't last. And then when you're on a third one, you even have less of a chance to making sure it works. So that's because it's just not meant to be. You are supposed to reconcile with people. You are supposed to work things out. If you volunteer and help people, say in a nursing home, you don't just leave them. You don't just leave them there and be like, okay, I helped you a little bit. You are committed to people. You are committed for life to people. All right? Unless there's some major destructive stuff going on. But even then, you can just put like some space between you and people. Like when my husband's mother wasn't being good to me, and my husband noticed this too. I mean, they would be like, I put space there with me and her because she wasn't being that great to me. I don't know what her problem was, but she thought she was the matriarch of the family, and she is not. So, we'd go over and they'd be like, Ben, we're ordering pizza from the Epsom House of Pizza. Here's a menu. Get anything you want, Ben. And of course, I worked at the Epsom House of Pizza, so I knew the guys over there. I knew some of the people over there still. But they'd try to use that against me. And they'd be like, Ben, how about a roast beef sub? Ben, how about this? Ben. And they'd be so hospitable. And then and Ben noticed this. Ben is the one who pointed this out. And then they'd be like, here you go, Melissa. And they'd like toss me a menu if you want to order something, his mother would say, with a really snotty attitude. And so I would get tolerated when I went over there. And my husband, when we would get in the vehicle and ride home, he'd be like, I noticed what they did to you. He'd be like, I noticed how rude they were. And so I said, well, Ben, this is why I don't go over much. This is why. So he's like, they want me without you. I don't know why, right? So we saw it coming, and I'm like, well, I'm just not coming over. I'm not going over as much. You can still love people, but you can be like, you know what? We're going to have boundaries. And so those boundaries are to protect you, ladies. And obviously, I was right on the mark with her because of what she did with not even, she betrayed me before, calling me a gold digger, and then she betrayed me again with my husband and saying, oh, we're so glad we got him without her. So truly, that was the motive. And the battle's not over yet. And you don't really have your son when you pin yourself against his wife. And also, when I was talking to one of my sons, I had said, well, they were kind of good to you. And he's like, if they're not good to my mom, they're not good to me. And he said, you cannot be good to me and think you can favor me, but not my mother. So my sons love their mom to pieces. And I'm very fortunate, and one of the women at the pool said, looks like you already won, Melissa. You've got your kids. So, you know, that's what, I did the work. I did the work, and my husband didn't do the work that I did. So, yeah. So there is no way. I mean, my mother used to say sometimes, well, Graham was good to you. Yes, she was. But when I got to be a teenager and she was like the perfect grandmother, I saw what she did to my mother, and I was no longer close to her because of what she did to my mom. And then she tried to pull some stuff with me too. She tried to set my mother up with other men when she was married to my dad. She tried to do that with my husband. And then she tried to, you know, really just bring me down with my faith. And no, you're a Catholic because I'm a Catholic. And why are you staying home with your kids? You know, what's a pretty girl like you doing home? You know, you ought to be out there, you know, making something out of yourself because you're pretty or whatever. So, you see it later. You can't see it when you're a kid. And I appreciate everything my grandmother did. But you know, when you're talking about family, you gotta be good to the mom. Otherwise, you're shooting yourself in the foot.